check this out. Let's see. All right. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? So, I don't, I don't have any real plans with this. Just kind of figured, it's the anniversary. Of all days, this should be a day that I'm online. And no, it's still daytime. They'll come out. They'll come out at night. But I was supposed to be in Vegas, and decided not to go. Kind of thought about it, and thought, realistically, this should be a time for other people to be there, not me. You know, feel like I was kind of grifting at that point. So it's like, nah, this ain't my time. It's time for the people over there who have a reason to be there for this anniversary. But so cancel my trip, and well, he said I planned on doing something live from there, and yeah, I kind of gave up on that idea. I don't know, but and I didn't plan on doing anything today, to be honest with you, as far as live stream and all this bullshit. I'm trying to go through the evidence slowly, doing it live, so everyone can see me doing it, and follow along if you want. But it's sad to me. I mean, just watched. Oh, you got a song, huh? What is it? What's the? Where is it at? Let's see. The But yeah, I mean, as I go through this, I don't know. There's a lot of things don't make sense. I just start getting interest in this. Um, that PDF number 9 starts to ramp up. Back here, this may screw things up. Okay, so I'm gonna have to refresh this. All right, I don't know if you can still hear me. I don't think you can. Can you still hear me? Am I in here? Let's see. I gotta find one of these to get out of. All right. Yeah, because it's saying I'm not live anymore. But yeah. Go to that. Let me see what that is that you just sent me. It's kind of hard because I'm doing the recording on my cell phone, so when I go to stuff like that, it kind of peters out on me, and it disconnects me. Let's see. See what you sent. Let's see. I'm not seeing it on here. Let's see. Hold on. There's a lot of people with that name on here, man. All right, I guess that's it. Hopefully this dude doesn't mind me fucking playing this shit. Give me a sec here. Let's see. We're looking for let's see that one. I'm gonna share the audio on that as well. All right. Let's see. It worked. Yeah, it worked. All right. Let's check this out.
Vegas, and I had some friends who had called me and said, "Hey, Mark, we're going to a country show. Would you like to join us?" And the truth was, it was probably being lazy, but I stayed home, worked on a few files, and went to bed. I woke up to a few emails in the morning saying, "Did you hear what happened? Are you okay?" And of course, I had no idea what anybody was talking about, and so flipped on the news and realized there was a pretty disastrous event that took place literally right down the street from where I was. Then what I found out is that a few people I know were at that concert, and one young lady in particular worked for our company. This young lady named Julie had actually not only been at the concert, but had been shot. As the day progressed, we thought, gosh, Julie's there in the hospital. How bad is she? How can we help her? What I learned toward the end of that Monday, the day after it happened, this brutal massacre happened, is Julie had the strength and the fortitude to find her way back to Southwest Airlines and flew back to Reno because the doctors had advised her that she might get surgery completed faster if she goes home, which is ultimately what she did. And so I watch as time passes. Julie finds her strength and returns to the office a little bit and a little bit more. And, eventually she returns full time. And what strength and what character to, build yourself back up there. Very impressive. And at some point I thought, boy, there's a song there, a story there, a poem there, something. And I wrote down a few words and I'm thinking, well, gosh, it's almost 4 years. And what does somebody feel like 4 years after that kind of event? And that 4 years after just stuck in my mind. And I'm thinking, okay, there's a lot of tears and maybe no more laughter or very little laughter. And I wrote that down and then I wrote down another line and it just then seemed to just pour out. It suddenly just seemed right to do something bigger than myself.
Without a mouse, maybe.
Either or.
We got this little guy, Eric Clapton, in to warm up the orchestra and do a few songs in there. And we managed to that was the sound check.
You win. First musician in.
Really?
How are you?
I'm early.
Michael, Mark Johnson, are we shaking or touching, kissing? What are we doing?
It's good to see you, Greg.
Hello, Debbie Dad.
Nate is not here yet. We shake hands like men. See, I've been certified. Now I can go in the building.
Alan Parsons.
No way, Alan.
Mr. Ferroni, Mark Johnson.
Guilty. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
You know Steve Ferroni.
Hey. Have we met before?
40 years ago.
Michael. Mark.
Mark Johnson.
Mark, how are you doing, brother? Yeah.
So good here.
Our boss for a long time.
Let's get to work.
Desert heat, autumn nights, busy sidewalks, Vegas lights. The 91 is heating signs, lamps in order, fortune lines. Country sounds are in the queue, lamps compressed but they get through. We're telling of a coming brooding cauldron no one knew. Here we are 4 years after, trailing tears. tears and no more laughter. Cradle lives that ain't repair. Still 4 years after in the air. And here we are, so much gone, searching for a breaking dawn. Porous hearts lost in vain. The scars are healing, but not the pain. Oh. The evening crack, torrential shower, the leaden rain from on the tower. The unseen eyes of heinous cloud stole the stage with a thunderous power. Splinter noise across the grounds, the voices of 1,000 rounds overwhelm the country's sounds. The playpens now, the battlegrounds. Here we are, 4 years after, trailing tears and no more laughter. Cradle lives that ain't repair, reverberations in the air. Here we are, so much gone, searching for a breaking dawn. 4 years after, lost in vain. The scars are healing, but not the pain. Oh, oh, heroes billet on descend, casting light in every bend. Lift the lamps from where they're pinned, and sweep the blood from where it stemmed. Here we are, 4 years after, painful tears, a search for laughter. The tally's only just begun. There's so much more from 91. Those survivors seek repair, though many lamps in solitaire. Reverberations through the lair, still 4 years after in the air. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with me. I didn't know they existed. Yeah, I don't watch much of the. I don't watch much of the that stuff. When I was in Vegas the one year for the anniversary, I think third or whatever. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know, it was all over the. It was all over the news out there. You know, so you couldn't really avoid it. But yeah, I don't watch a lot of the spectacle, a lot of the bullshit. You know, I never really did much for me, so I don't know much about all that, about what goes on at these ceremonies and stuff like that. I always figure it's not my place. You know, I never tried to go to those things. You know, it's not my place to be there. You know, that's. But you know, this was a rough thing. You know, I remember. You know, when this happened, you know, I thought this could be anywhere, anytime, any place, any concert, any band, any genre, anything. You know, something like this could happen. You know, and I've been there. You know, festivals, shit like that. You know, and it was kind of a scary thing. You know, it's kind of you know, just one of those things, man. You think, you know, I could have been there. Could have been one of those people. Getting shot is fucking random as fuck. You know, those people weren't any different than anyone else in the crowd. So could have been anybody. When fucking lead starts flying, dude, it doesn't fucking care about race, color, or any of that bullshit. So kind of bothered me in the beginning a lot. You know, and then finding out I knew people who were actually there, dealt with this shit. Talking to people on a nightly basis that were there. In fact, I talked to one guy last night who was shot twice. You know, my buddy. How you doing? How you doing? And again, I didn't have any plans of doing anything tonight. I just kind of, I saw another video, another channel. If any of you guys are interested, I don't know who would be really, or how many of you would be. I'll be honest with you. But there's another channel did something about this. And let me find him. Let's see. And I'm not going to play his video in its entirety because I don't really know this guy personally. I've actually talked to him a few times, but I don't know what he would think about me actually invading his space here. So I'm going to show you quick a little bit of it. Because I did share this out with a couple people through text messaging.
So how's it going? It's October 1st here in Vegas, and that means we're going to pause the whole, news cycle, the whole thing about things. We're going to talk about why nothing's been done with this land. And you saw the sign out there. And if you're not familiar with it, 4 years ago, here on this site right here, the Route 91 harvest.
All right, now this dude's name is Steven, I guess. And he's from a channel called Not Leaving Las Vegas. And he's got a big channel. He's got a fairly big channel, fairly decent sized channel. So he does good work. Normally, he doesn't do this type of content. This is interesting and strange for him. He basically walks around the strip and shows you what strip looks like and gives news about various hotels and properties and what they're doing. But it's basically Vegas travel.
Festival was going on, and an evil monster who we don't name because that would give him name recognition went up to the top of the Mandalay Bay to one of the uppermost floors. He was a super high roller whale, not who you think it would be, right? Stereotype what you think one of these people are. Guy spent hundreds of thousands of dollars every time he came, and he mowed people down right here, and nothing's happened. Nothing has happened. So we're going to talk about that so we can get some frustrations out where nothing has happened. I know.
All right. And I think that's all I really have to play of that. This guy's very frustrated. He was not there that night, of course. But he lives in Vegas, and he loves Vegas, absolutely loves Vegas. He's the biggest fanboy of Vegas there is. And, doesn't do a lot of really negative. I mean, he does do some negative stuff, but his attitude's mostly positive towards these various hotels, casinos, stuff like that. And even he's frustrated. So I guess what they did, and he's in the background there, you can see the Route 91 where it used to be, and looks like it's a parking lot. And what he's pissed off about is it looks like they're making it parking for the stadium, Allegiant Stadium, that's over there. So eventually there's going to be a lot of tailgate parties for Raider fans and stuff like that happening in this, where the Route 91 used to be. And, he runs into some reporters there. It's kind of interesting because I believe this was filmed today, most likely. And this is the anniversary. And there's absolutely nobody else there. So, looks like, interest is waning a little bit within this. So, yeah, I don't know if it happened today or he just didn't happen to go down to this part of the strip, or they had the green, wind barriers up, on these fences until, today. And, but it definitely looks like they put in, what do you call it? They paved it. Looks like they repaved it. They put in, they painted it. They painted the lines, and maybe move some K-rails around a little bit, but doesn't look like too much. They didn't have to do too much of that. So this is what it's become. And yeah, he's a little pissed off. Yeah, they had, with these anniversaries, I know, like I said, last time I went, and I thought about it as I'm sitting there, and I was actually in the Mandalay Bay when I went. And I was sitting there thinking about it, should I go down? Should I go to these things, these events and stuff like that? And I thought about it. I'm like, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. I wasn't there. I don't have a right to that. That's not me. That's out of respect. I just kept my distance. I walked around this venue, ran into a couple people that were actually there. They were walking around, stuff like that. Walked all over the fucking place, and where the Melissa Ramirez Memorial is and all that sort of bullshit. I even went to the Healing Garden that day, but again, didn't talk to anybody, didn't bother anybody. I think the Healing Garden, I was only there a couple minutes. I'll be honest with you, Eddie showed up. I didn't want to deal with them, so I just fucking left. I didn't know if he'd recognize me or not from meeting him once before, so I just fucking bailed. I didn't want to fucking have anything to do with that shit. But so this year I was planning on going. I thought about it. I'm like, ain't for me. It's not my place. I'll go again soon. I just, this was not some. And I would like to go walk around that Healing Garden, actually walk around it without any interruptions this time. But, maybe with less people. So be easier to get around and not be impeding on grieving people's space. But, not this year. At least not on this day. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat a little bit. I said I didn't really have plans on doing this today. This was not something I really planned on doing, but I thought about it. I'm like, man, this is the first anniversary. I just watched this video of this guy right here and thought, shit, man, there's still interest in this. There's still people that have questions that are unanswered. He even mentions that a little bit. He talks a little bit about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. How he's not a big fan of those, obviously. But there's still interest, right? And there's still people don't believe, what they say happened. And after this last year, I mean, we look at this bullshit, and I'm going to go off fucking narrative here because fuck the narrative. Let me go. I don't need to share audio on this one. This is what we got. This fucking bullshit. This shit is what we got. is what they got, really. Because like I said, I'm not, technically it's not my thing. I'm just a guy who knows people that were there. Big fucking deal, right? So do fucking thousands of other people. But, this is what we got. Broken ass fucking timeline. It doesn't fucking work, in a lot of respects. And, I'll say the big eye-opening thing within this so far that I've dealt with is that PDF number 9. This PDF number 9 is fucking crazy. When we deal with people and their double speak, and these are witnesses, and they're saying different things, you have who do you believe? Who do you not believe? And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to a he said, she said fucking contest with a lot of this stuff. The police are saying one thing, witnesses are saying another. You got it's all kinds of shit. Let's see. The so it all boils down to that, right? What do you believe? What do you not believe? Who are you gonna believe? You're gonna believe the guy that says that he got up there and Campos wasn't up there, but he ran into Shuck? Or you're gonna believe the guy that said he was up there with Campos and Shuck the whole fucking time? What are you gonna believe? You're gonna believe Campos, who says one thing, and the fucking police report says something completely fucking different. It's all he said, she said. It's all bullshit. But that's what they've been given to us. So, we sit here and we try to put the pieces together, try to make sense of fucking nonsense. And, again, it's one of those things where you're looking at a statement. You're saying, this does not fit. But do I believe this fucking person over, what's been given to us? And then what is the rationale? What is the motive? What would be the reason for this person to lie or for the police to lie? Is this person wrong? Are they just misremembering facts? Or is there some motivation behind it? Such as people who work for the Mandalay Bay being motivated in some way to go with whatever the Mandalay Bay says. Campos, for instance, right? Campos is an interesting character because I always kind of believe the guy. I really do kind of believe him. His story does match up with a lot of other statements. His actual story. Not so much the other bullshit around it, Chuck, all this bullshit. Campos' story seems to match up a little bit. And that day he was on the Ellen show, and she tried to, and and I don't remember where I heard this, but I did hear that day on that Ellen show, supposedly there was multiple castings. Now I don't know how true that is because I don't even know where I fucking heard it, but if that was reliable or not. But I guess it is possible that they didn't have a live studio audience for that one, and that was kind of a strange thing. I do know a YouTube guy who worked on the Ellen show that I could probably ask somehow if I could get him to talk to me directly, but I don't know. I know where he basically travels to. I know what he does YouTube videos on, and I could actually probably run into the guy randomly and ask him in person. But then again, I don't know. Yeah, he probably could. Yeah, Campos probably could do a lot of damage to the MGM. And I've been trying to go through this, multiple times, multiple people. I've been trying to explain this, and I don't know because I'm not a lawyer. But if you look at the Campos thing, what did Campos do when he's up there? you know, what happened with that fucking guy. The original like news statements when the Campos story started getting out, the 959 timeline was the thing. The news started slamming the MGM, saying you had a security guard up there for 6 minutes before the shooting even started, and you did fucking nothing. You know, shame on you. You did nothing, right? Putting the MGM a lot of fucking blame for, you know. I mean, technically, yeah, there's nothing they really could have done, but nevertheless, you had a security guard up there 6 minutes before this guy started firing, and nobody said a fucking word. The police were not called. Nobody was called. That's interesting, right? That could bury the MGM. You know, that would be a liability fucking nightmare, I would think. Again, I'm not a lawyer. But, you know, I think that would be a liability fucking disaster if we stuck to that 959 timeline. And that 959 timeline seems to check out depending on which statement you're reading. You know, the problem is, you know, this has been mentioned to me by someone else. This is something that I've been going through with someone else because I have been getting emails since all this shit started, or since Hunter passed away. I've been getting all kinds of emails from people I never thought I'd ever talk to. That's good. Yeah, I hope people don't accept that settlement. I hope there's plenty of people that don't. Keep this going, man. Keep the ball rolling. That causes liability problems also with them trying to sell, because they've been trying, I believe, to sell them the Mandalay Bay. They've been buying properties, been selling properties. It's a weird fucking thing going on with them right now. So, you know, this person brought to my attention a couple things. You know, I think this person is very intelligent. And, you know, I don't necessarily agree with them on everything, but if we're going to say that Campos was up there at 9:59 and no shooting went out the window until 10:05, we have a witness statement saying that the glass was broken about 10:04 to 10:05. About 10:04 is, I believe, his exact timeline. And he was using the time of his Uber ride, which he has a receipt for. So this guy actually did bring receipts for this, where he saw glass breaking about 10:04. So that would dictate that Campos was up there for, 6 minutes before any shooting fucking started. Now, if he was up there for 6 minutes, what the fuck was he doing? I mean, think about that, you know, and this person actually made me, you know, maybe think about this, because 6 minutes is a long fucking time, dude. It's a long time. It only takes about a minute and a half to walk down that hallway. Who the other body is. I ain't going into conspiracies right now. But, you know, so 6 minutes, man. Think about that shit. This guy was up there 6 minutes. We don't know when he was shot. We don't know when he was shot at. Whatever. He sat up there for 6 whole fucking minutes. And, you know, depending on which report you read, you know, he was told to go up a floor and down a floor immediately as soon as he called in, right? So if you're taking what the fuck is that Allsbury statement, I believe, you know, Campos calls down, he gets transferred. So give him a couple seconds on that. He gets transferred over to, and let's say he looked at that bracket for a whole minute. He gets transferred down to Allsbury. And I don't know, you know, where the 9:59 timeline comes from, unless it's, you know, from that actual phone call. So he calls down. He ends up with Allsbury on the phone, which I don't think would have taken too long. He tells them that, is there anything going on up here? He's asking, you know, I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. It's kind of getting confusing here. He asked Allsbury, you know, are you guys doing anything up here? There's like this bracket on the door, you know, in the stairwell. Alsbury, you know, maybe they had a little conversation back and forth. What you talk about, which door, blah, 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 all this bullshit. You know, but eventually he gets the fucking clue. You know, Alsbury didn't elaborate on that fucking shit, but he says there's a bracket on the door. You guys do anything up there? Alsbury says, no, we're not. And while he's still on the phone, so this must happen pretty much immediately. This wasn't another call back 2 minutes later. This is nothing like that. He tells him that, wait, I hear drilling. He said, where do you hear drilling? He said, on the other side of the door in the stairwell, right? So he thinks that this drilling's going on in the stairwell. That's according to Alsbury's statement. There's a lot of problems with Alsbury's statement, and that is part of the issue. I think he's definitely been coached by the Mandalay Bay at the point that he did his statement, but yeah, so was Campos, really. And so Alsbury tells him, hey, why don't you go up a floor, go down a floor, try to catch this guy, because he's thinking at that time that somebody is actually bracketing up all the fucking doors, trying to block off that entire stairwell. And I guess that would be Campos's job, right? To catch people doing shady shit in the casino or in the hotel. And so what happens then, right? We got another fucking, you know, if we're going off 959 timeline, if we're saying that is the actual timeline, then we're saying that, I mean, fuck, dude, Patty could have heard this whole fucking conversation. I mean, he could have heard at least Campos' side of it. So, you know, he's supposed to go up a floor, down a floor, right? He's supposed to go look for this fucking guy in the stairwell. What does he do? You got 6 minutes, man, before the shots are going to go down range. What did you do for 6 minutes up there? Let's see. So, you know, what's going to happen there, right? So did Campos actually like start walking down that hallway? Did he get shot right then and there? Was it 10 o'clock, 10:01 where he got shot at? And if so, okay, we go with that. You know, let's say 10:01. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's give him an extra minute here. Says he gets clipped at 10:01. Ends up in a fucking alcove. He sat in that alcove for another 4 minutes with zero happening. Zero, you know, I mean, I guess it could be argued that, you know, it's possible that, you know, Paddock shot 3 rounds at a time for a whole minute straight, but I doubt it. I really doubt that. So Campbell's hiding in an alcove for 5 minutes, 4 minutes. 4 minutes is a long time. It's a very long time, especially in a situation like that. It's a very fucking long time. It's a long time to be sitting in an alcove huddled up against a wall, against somebody's door, some random person's fucking door, with the fucking, you know, with your legs starting to fucking bother you, starting to get that little itching fucking tingling sensation. You don't know what the fuck just happened. But are we supposed to believe he sat in that hallway for 4 whole fucking minutes? Or do you take off? Now, according to Alsbury, Campos was up there when he got up there, and Campos and Shuck together ran into the elevator bank to basically meet him when he got up there. Why they didn't just fucking bolt down the elevator bank? Was it convenient timing that they just happened to be running out of the hall trying to get the fuck out of there? I mean, I guess it's possible. But Alsbury is interesting because there's a couple problems with his bullshit. And, you know, one of the things was he says he got this call from Campos, right? And then he calls Shuck, tells Shuck to go check it out. Then he immediately starts to walk at a fast pace towards the elevator bank. Now, I don't know where his office is. I know it's in the basement. I'm pretty sure it's in the basement because he said he took the elevator. It stopped on the beach level. Beach level is the first level of that fucking casino that you can get to as a fucking civilian. So I'm pretty sure he's down in the basement at this point. So he walks quickly. Now, any wing of that hotel is only 100 yards, right? So, that center core there, give or take, because you do have some parts that jut out as far as that bottom floor, but realistically, I don't see him being much further than maybe 120 yards at the most. I doubt it's even that. I'll bet you it's less than 100 yards away from that elevator bank. So this guy walks at a fast pace towards the elevator bank, gets in the elevator, and ends up on beach level. Now, it is technically, I guess, a beach they have there, but he ends up on the pool level. He ends up on the pool level because somebody hit the fucking button and stopped the elevator on the pool level. Somebody was going up, apparently. He tells them that you're not going on this elevator. Basically, fuck off. And, then what ends up happening is we have body camera footage of police getting Varson and Hendricks getting on that elevator. Now, Varson and Hendricks, I believe, oh God, I mean, that video's, these videos all kind of mesh together, but I believe it was 10:09 when they started running towards that elevator bank. I believe it was 10:09. I don't remember the exact timing of when they got to that elevator bank. I'm guessing it's like 10:10, somewhere around there. And they get in the elevator with Alsbury, right? So 11 fucking minutes, man. This guy's saying he immediately started walking towards the elevator and, at a fast pace, got on that elevator, got stopped at the pool level. So he sat at that pool level for 10 fucking minutes in an elevator without calling, Chuck to tell him, hey man, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Something going on up there. None of that bullshit, because he did say he heard later that, the Campos was hit, which I think was around, I don't know. I think that call went out over the radio. I don't even know, man. I'd have to go back and look, but I thought it was like the 10:09, which is when the Varson and Hendricks turned around because they're running towards the festival, saying shots fired at the festival. Then all of a sudden they turn around and start running towards the elevator. I don't have the Varson thing, plugged in right now. Otherwise, I'd probably play that right now just to kind of get an idea. But and I haven't done a lot of research because, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing this today, really. But those are some of the problems I see with what we have here. Some of the statements versus, the narrative versus timeline. Why did it take? Like I said, I think it was like 10:09, something like that, when the call finally went out of the radio that Campos was injured up on 32nd floor. I believe we have a guy in the radio room, or one of the security guy officers in the radio room, whatever, in the fucking phone bank, whatever the fuck they got down there, basically saying that he didn't call police right away. He admitted that to the cops. Instead, he called an ambulance service. I forget what he said it was. He named it, but he called an ambulance service instead. So we do have a little bit of lag time there, that we could say, well, yeah, of course, the guy called them first. He didn't call the police right away. He didn't tell anybody right away. They're more worried about, the safety of their dude up on the 32nd floor than they were about, blasting this shit over the radio. Then I'm sure, I think he even said he talked to his supervisor about it, and, which I'm sure happens at all these casinos because there's a lot of money going through these fucking things. So you probably have to talk to supervisor about anything. You see a guy shooting a fucking gun, you probably got to talk to supervisor. Somebody shooting at you probably got to talk to a supervisor before you decide to shoot back. I'm guessing there's all kinds of weird ass shit going on. But that was an interesting statement, right? Timelines don't really jive. So Alsbury gets up to the 32nd floor, and we do, we have a timeline of that with Varson and Hendricks. And like I said, I wish I would have put that up. If I would have thought about what I was going to talk about before I just started talking, then I probably would have done that. But Varson and Hendricks get up on that 31st floor, and Alsbury goes immediately up to the 32nd floor. Now, according to him, as soon as he gets off the elevator, which is interesting because I believe Sottle was there with him in that elevator. He doesn't mention that at all, but I believe he was in that elevator. And so, and I believe we have that on, well, you can't tell who's who on the body cam and shit because it's pretty much aimed at the fucking ground. But yeah, I believe, Sato was supposedly in that elevator too. Doesn't mention Sato, but he mentions that he gets out of the elevator and there's Jesus and Shuck running into the elevator bank. And, and Jesus is talking about how he got clipped in the leg. And then Shuck is saying, can you check my back? Because I felt something hit my back. All right. But then we got another guy. We got the security guard. We got the statement in that same PDF that there's a security guard that brought up the two, bicycle cops or whatever. The first two cops on the scene, which I believe got a shot of the hallway at 1017. And he brings them up. And, oh, God, he brought them up, I believe, the 200 wing hallway because they used the service elevators. So they came up the 200 wing. He said, and he knew Campos. He knew him personally. He talked about Campos like, yeah, I went and talked to him later and asked him what happened and all this bullshit. So he knew who Campos was. They were, somewhat, they're speaking, It wasn't like, I've never seen this guy before. I don't know this fucking guy. So he gets up there with these two cops. And again, I don't have a timeline for this either because I haven't gotten this far into this. But by the time he gets up there, he says that Campos was no longer there. He was no longer up in that, no longer up there. Campos, according to him, Campos had already run down the entirety of the 200 wing hallway, gotten into that service elevator, there's multiple service elevators, but he got into one of the service elevators and went down. So this guy, I believe, is in the hallway. I don't know what the timing is on that. It was after the shooting was done, maybe 10:16 or something like that, because I believe it's 10:17 and some seconds when we get, by the time these guys get to the actual center core. So let's say 10:16. They get up there. That means Campos is gone by 10:16, man. Campos is gone by the time maybe he did run down the hallway. Maybe it took him, 30 seconds. I don't know. Maybe he's there at 10:15 when the shooting stopped. Now, Alsbury claims that he heard the end of the shots. Now, he heard the last 3 rounds of shots, according to him, which I believe puts him up there at, it's hard to tell because the last couple volleys were very awkward and broken up. But he claims he was up there for the last 3 volleys, right? Which puts him up there. I don't know. Puts him with Campos and Shuck up there. I believe it's 10:13 or something. Counting the volleys as one, consistent volley, which it really wasn't. So issues. We have problems there, right? Because now that means Campos and Shuck are in the elevator bank with him at let's say the Dow, let's say 10:13. And how long does it take for him to check Shuck, Campos, check them both out? He never mentioned leaving whatsoever, and his very hard to follow because he jumps around all the time. Yeah, he jumps around. At one point, he's in the elevator bank. At another point, he's back in his office talking on the phone. At another point, then he's up there. He hears the shooting. At another point, he's back on his phone in his office. Then he jumps back to when the cops were there. Never explaining any kind of timeline. It's not organized. It's a fucking mess. But, he's claiming that, Shuck and Campos were up there. The security guard admits Shuck was up there. So I'm pretty much done with Shuck. I'm good. Shuck was there at some point. And I believe the other guard that brought the 2 cops up there said that there was a new engineer with slick back hair that he'd never seen before because he was new. So that tells me, okay, he's talking about Shuck. That the statements fucking solid. It seems to kind of work, with a lot of this. But I mean, at some point, Campos went downstairs, took off, got out of there, and then at some point came back up. Came back up the stairs, or came back up the service elevator. Service elevator was the only one was working, according to Allsbury. He locked out the center core, but he didn't lock out service elevators. That way the cops could get up and down through service elevators. Why he didn't fucking tell anybody, I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense when you got all those cops with that confusing fucking video of them all sitting in the center core trying to figure out why the fuck nothing's working and they can't get up to the room. Why somebody didn't just come down and say, hey, come over here and take the fucking 200 wing service elevators. You get up anywhere you want. But that didn't happen. And that's a constant, right? That didn't happen. So, it's not that there's anything behind that. It's just that it didn't happen. For some fucking reason, there was miscommunication. That did not happen. So they all sat there like dumb shits in the center core trying to figure out how the fuck they're going to get up there. And there ain't no way those cops going to walk up 32 floors of stairs. That's just not going to fucking happen. That's stupid. By the time they got up there, half of them would be dead from heart attacks and shit. But that's just not going to happen. So we do have issues. And like I said, it runs into this he said, she said fucking thing with, this fucking report. It's bullshit. And at this point, I don't think anyone should be surprised that the FBI report was shit. Back in the day, I had high expectations for what the FBI was going to put out. This day and age, after the last 2 years of fucking bullshit, I have no expectations of the FBI whatsoever. I think the FBI is kind of fucking pointless at this point, with things. And I don't think they're, I just don't, I have nothing on the FBI. So, it shouldn't be a surprise they're not going to fucking tell you anything. They may have all kinds of fucking evidence. They may be incompetent with the evidence. That's possible. I think that's completely possible after the last 2 years of the bullshit we've seen. And, or they may just not care. They may just not give a shit. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you? You don't fucking need to know shit. I believe that's a possibility as well. I think our government kind of runs like that these days. You're a fucking peasant. You don't fucking deserve shit. And so, and it may have been that way back then. I don't know. But I was not surprised when that's all we got. Or I'm not surprised now. I was then. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up to say, oh, the guy was just stressed out, dude. The guy was just stressed out. Just deal with it. The guy was stressed out. What was Paddock's motive? What was his fucking motive? Shit like that, man. This is all we got. To me, that's fucking sad. That's really fucking sad. We can get shit, these people deserve better. I think Vegas deserves better, than what they've given us. This is bullshit, And I'm going to say, like, when I originally came on here, I was going to talk a little bit about, us and what we've done. This bullshit, this community, this drama, this crap that we fucking pulled, and again, I'm putting myself in that, right? The whole idea behind this YouTube garbage was to crowdsource ideas. Crowdsource ideas and try and come to some kind of fucking conclusion, some kind of, look for things as a group. And, and there's going to be problems. There's going to be people that don't like other people. There's going to be, there's always going to be drama within shit. But I think the way that the drama panned out was very fucked up. I don't know the correct term right now because I'm not thinking straight on that, but it was wrong. And it wasn't wrong for you or me or any of the fucking assholes that got fucking doxxed or any of this bullshit. That's not what we're worried about. It's not what we should be worried about, right? It was wrong for these people and their families. These people died, right? you know, because they want answers too. We don't know how many of these people are actually watching our videos, how many of these people are plugged into what we were doing, and how many people tuned out as soon as this shit started. You know, how many people didn't want to hear about 10 and his fucking, you know, bullshit, you know, what people thought about him all day and all night, 24-hour, 10, 10, 10, man. That's all we heard for fucking ever. What's that got to do with Vegas? It's got to do with this shit. It's got nothing to do with any of it. He's one fucking dude with a YouTube channel. Who gives a shit? You know, I played into it too, man. You know, I mean, made up fucking names, did my little chicken shit comedy, making fun of people, talking shit back to people. But that was out of frustration. And I'm not making excuses for that. That was wrong. But, you know, it's definitely out of frustration. I remember when all that shit started, man, all this stuff started. I was like, dude, you guys got to knock that shit off. This has nothing to do with Vegas. That guy has nothing to do with Vegas. Yeah, okay, kick in the door. Don't give a shit about a kick in the fucking door. That's his thing. Let him do his thing. Let him figure it out. That's fine. Doesn't fucking matter what he's done in his past, all that bullshit, where he lives. It's harassing people, that's fine. Okay, then do something about it. You know, we'll fucking deal with that as a community. That's fine. But it's not what happened. It's not all what happened. We broke down Vegas and we basically said, Vegas don't fucking matter. These fucking 58 people don't fucking matter. What matters is that fucking dude and his YouTube channel and how I feel about him and his fucking YouTube channel. That's where we fucked up. All the back and forth. All the bullshit. That's what pisses me off. That's where I got seriously fucking frustrated with this whole fucking mess. That's where I just stopped looking. Just didn't care anymore. Fuck it. You know, whatever. The only thing kept me engaged in any form or anything was Hunter. That was it. That was it. Guy was sending me emails daily. Man, what about this? What about this? What about this? He would start his, you know, we do personal videos with each other. And he'd say, you know, I know you don't want to talk about Vegas anymore, but what about this? What about this? What about this? And it kept me going a little bit. You know, stop talking about it live. But that's fucked up. You know, and that's something that really pisses me off. Fuck, man. Throat's going dry. That's something that really fucking bothers me. Really pisses me off. Is that we had an opportunity for something here, you know, to deal with shit like this. And we didn't like other people's opinions. That's fine. It's fine. I didn't like a lot of people's opinions. I still don't like a lot of people's opinions. I still think there's a lot of shitheads out there. I think there's a lot of grifters. There's a lot of fucking garbage out there. You know, but, you know, together we're having a conversation about this. And somebody potentially could have struck gold. But instead, man, all we did was we looked at each other and we fought with each other. You think it matters to these 58 fucking people? Or their families? Or any of that shit? Nah. I don't think any of these 58 gave a fuck about any of our YouTube channels. You know, I know some of these people are watching. I know some of the families were watching. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how we fucked this up so bad. And we allowed it to get fucked up this bad. To where it's pretty much over, right? It's over. You know, I got, 8 people watching me right now? Just ramble, just talk shit. And, you know, the old days, I sit there and watch on a video where I was just harping on somebody, just bashing somebody, trashing fucking people, I get like 300 views and shit on those things, you know? And, I mean, you know, I was entertaining myself at the same time that I was entertaining other people, but yeah, fuck, man. You know, it's sad. It's sad that it went from, you know, people that are actually interested in this event to, you know, this, nothing. It's over. You know, that party ended very prematurely, man. You know, and that's sad. That's really sad and depressing. You know, and you know, it's, I've heard on other channels, man, you know, I've heard other channels that mostly talk about politics, stuff like that. All the political stuff, you know, and they've mentioned Vegas. They all mention it. You know, these people are YouTubers. They're big YouTubers. They're huge. They're massive, you know, compared to our chicken shit little community. They got more, you know, subs of one, you know, one of their channels. They usually have multiple, you know, than we have as a collective. That every, I mean, you know, even if you take Hoover's dumbass and some of his bullshit, you know, these people have way more, you know. And I heard one guy one night talk about, someone brought up Vegas and the shooting, and he straight up told him, you know, we don't have enough information on that. We've never had enough information. We don't know what happened there. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, man, this guy don't even talk about stuff like that. It's got nothing to do. It's out of his fucking wheelhouse. But, you know, he decided to make that comment. That was crazy to me. That was crazy, because I was thinking this motherfucker was probably part of this community, or watching, you know, these videos at least to some point. And he's probably plugged into a few Hoovers from time to time and listened about helicopter stuff. But, you know, this guy was actually plugged in. He actually gave a shit. You know, apparently he's not in here now. He's not one of the 8 that are sitting here watching this shit now. That's for damn sure. You know, but but this is on both sides. You know, there ain't nobody fucking innocent in this shit. You know, I guess you know, there may be a couple out there that just never got involved in the bullshit, but it's very fucking rare. It's very rare. You know, I've man, I was in some chats. I watched some of the bullshit happen. I was fucking guilty of some of the bullshit. Yeah, there ain't a lot of innocent fucking people out there. Even the ones that you think would be. The people that are so nice to your face. Pretend to be in the center somewhere. Nah, fuck that. I said there are a few, but there ain't very fucking many. We all fucking played our part in this fucking destruction of this bullshit. But there may still be some to it, man. I mean, there's still a possibility out there. There's a lot of evidence out there, man. There's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of stuff to go through still that people have not. I mean, I watched a guy the other night talking about Vegas, and I watched him say, you know, one of the channels we all know, and I watched him basically say he never read the fucking report. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is it right here. I've read this fucking shit ton of times. There's fucking pictures in this book. It's not hard to fucking read. I mean, it may take 45 fucking minutes or something like that, depending on your reading skills, but god damn, this ain't fucking tough. And you never read this. But here you are talking about Vegas. Talking about this shit. Fucking crazy. Fucking insane. Even if you don't agree with this bullshit, you know, you never read it. You never got through this. And yet here you are making videos about it. What the fuck's wrong with you? There's a lot of bad information out there, man. That's another thing. Shit. I mean, the whole idea with like the conspiracy crowd and what drives you fucking nuts, they're never wrong. And I watched this last night on some bullshit with that girl went missing. The girl that got killed, that Petito chick, man. I was watching a live stream about that the other night, and I was watching some conspiracy chick come on there, and she starts saying, "Oh, I think this happened, this happened, this happened." These guys straight up straightened her out, said, "Nah, your timeline's off," but they let her talk, like, rookie mistake, man. They let her talk, and she talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. Well, my thing's still right, and they're like, no, your timeline's off because they went to this store at this day, and then the next day was when they found these other people, dead and all this sort of shit. So you're wrong. And they're like, but your premise is right, your idea is right, it's possible, but in general, your timeline's wrong. Well, I'm still right. No, fuck, dude. Straight up, dude. You have an idea, it gets debunked, just drop it. Fucking find something else, man. But that's the problem we run into with a lot of conspiracy shit, is that and at that point, I've heard people, I couldn't fucking believe it. Someone came into my chat one day. It was a long time ago. Someone came into my chat and said, I've had the same opinion since day one, and it's never going to change. And I'm like, then you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but you're a fucking idiot. Because if that is your rationale behind this bullshit, then you're not doing anything. You're not doing anybody any good at that point, right? Because you should be here to learn about what happened. You're supposed to be here to find out what happened, not just make a fucking theory up and say, well, this is what I'm going to believe, and I'm not changing my shit. No. Don't work like that. When you're wrong, you're wrong. If it's a possibility, it's a possibility. You could follow that through. But, when something gets debunked, it gets debunked, dude. It's done. You're dead in the water at that point. Yeah, 911 calls. I went through those. I went through those twice, and that's just because they're audio, and I can do those at work. But that was a long time ago. That was back in the day. I just remember the guy stealing the cars, man. I could never get past that, man. The guy was calling 911 to say, I'm stealing cars, take people to the hospital. They said, stop stealing cars. I said, no, it's okay. I'm with the firemen. We're the firemen. We're stealing cars. Fucking crazy. Oh, shit. That was fucking crazy. Yeah, and then I had I knew someone that was going through all of those 911 calls and documenting everything, documenting that stuff. But that person kind of quit when all the bullshit broke out. But yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy how fucked up this got, and and I mean, a day like today, man, makes me think about it. It's like, dude, how many people, we are not the people involved in this. This is not our gig. This is just something we're looking at to try and find answers. Well, there's people whose lives have been impacted forever. There's people lost their lives over this shit. And we're fighting over stupid shit. We destroyed it over fucking nothing. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the conspiracies. I understand that there's things that are wrong with a lot of what's going on here. One thing that I don't agree with is when somebody takes, and this is something I've argued with Hunter over this on certain things, and I think I got him to eventually drop certain things because of this. But I don't agree with somebody taking one thing and saying this is the truth, and it disagrees with everything else. It creates a problem with everything else. No, don't work like that, bro. If let's say you got a guy saying it's electrical, so you want to ignore all the gunshots, all the people shot, all the people fucking killed, to say that this guy's right, that this fucking idiot who's probably drunk off his ass at a fucking concert, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Don't worry, it's electrical." We actually have, in one of these witness statements, there's actually a guy that says, "Yeah, I thought it was electrical until I got shot." I mean, he was telling his whole group, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just electrical. It's not a big fucking deal." Everybody's fucking running past him and shit. I think he even said that the venue was pretty much cleared out when he actually got shot. Dude almost lost his fucking life. But up until that point, he was saying, "Oh, it's electrical. It's electrical." So, when you sit there and you look at things like that and you're saying, well, I'm going to throw out everything else that's in this fucking report, everything, every statement, all the bullshit. And I'm gonna say that guy's right. That guy's fucking right. It was electrical. This is all bullshit. It's all staged. People were just being electrocuted. Shit. It was a fucking electrical problem they don't want to admit to. No, dude. Shit like that is stupid. That's where things get like really absolutely fucking ridiculous. We saw a lot of that. I used to rail against a lot of that. I hated that. I still hate that. It's like there's a lot of information here, and when I was talking to Daniel last time, man, I feel bad for the guy because he was trying to get something out of me. I told him basically that I'm not ready to throw anything at the wall right now as far as what I think as far as what had actually happened, aside from maybe saying, MGM has some liability issues that they're trying to hide from. I do think that is a thing. And I think that's always going to be a thing. And I think that's the most accurate fucking thing out there, but there's a lot more to it than just that. But I haven't read through all this shit. I read every single fucking PDF yet. My whole experience with this stuff was, people would send me shit, say, "What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this?" So I'm getting led down a path by the fucking nose saying, "This is what I think and this is why I think it. What do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy? What do you think about, he says this here, he says this here." And so at some point, I have to do shit for myself. I've started reading through all this shit myself. And that's exactly what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I try to pass judgment until I got through it all. I hope more info will come, man. I hope. I don't have a lot of faith in the FBI. And I've been too fucking lame and lazy to start doing my own FOIAs, but I'm getting ready to. Because there's certain targeted things that I want to see. That I really, really want to see, that will clear up a lot of fucking problems. And I'll tell you the big one, or a couple big ones, right? And I've said this before. If you think about it, how many people do we know that saw Paddock that weekend? Yeah, how many statements do we have from people that legit saw Paddock that weekend? We have baggage handlers, a couple of those. We have valets, which one was debunked. We have, and I believe it's, what is it, 2 baggage handlers? I think it's like 2 bellmen, 2 baggage handlers, something like that. And then we have a maid. We have, I believe, is it 1 maid or 2 maids? I don't even remember. We have maids. We have, I said baggage handlers, valet. Of all the people that, well, the FBI probably bought themselves some new gold toilets with that $10 million for the Pentagon. But anyway, or for their field office out in Nevada. But anyway. Well, I was watching a thing on FOIAs the other day, and so just talk about FOIAs, and some dude from some journalists, some bullshit, left-wing journalist organization was talking about how he has FOIAs that have been sitting there since he started working for that that organization, which was 5 years. He said, I've got FOIAs that are still pending from 5 years ago that someday maybe I'll get them, maybe I won't. Yeah, the FOIA system is fucking broken. They, you know, it doesn't work as it was intended to work unless, you know, they want it to, I guess. But, you know, God, what was I talking about? I totally lost that train of thought. Completely lost that train of thought. Oh, yeah. So how many people do we know that talk about it? You know, or how many people do we have statements from that talk about it? You know, we have, like I said, we have baggage handlers, we have bellhops, we have valet, and we have a maid, right? And I believe there might be one. I believe there was one from a guy that went up there and sprayed air freshener or some bullshit in the room. I don't know. You know, I haven't gotten that far into that. But what about, I mean, of all the people that saw him, of all the people that talked to him, of all the fucking people that he ran into, and it's amazing to realize how many people you run into on a daily fucking basis in a situation like this. You know, the guy who shook his hand over at the high limit room, the waitress that dealt with him at the high limit room, they've had to have interviewed these people. If not, then again, it's FBI. It's possible FBI is completely fucking incompetent in some of this shit. But you know, those people ain't going nowhere. They're sitting there at MGM. What about the person who checked him in? All three of them. C. Colton. What was the other one? Shit. Colton, Jay Wheeler, and Orpia. Is it Jay Orpia? I believe. I found her. I actually did find her, and there's some interesting things behind her. And I don't want people going and looking for that person, but basically that person has a lapse of employment in the whole year of 2017. And I believe it's the same person, because that person is now working for the MGM as of 2018, I believe it was, or 2019. They work for the M&M store that was over there on the Strip, which I don't know if that's owned by MGM. It's right next door to the MGM Grand, or it used to be, and now I think it's a Hershey store, if I remember right. Yeah, she had a lapse of employment for all of 2017. And you know, and then she ends up working. So I'm pretty sure it's the same person. I'm pretty sure it's the right person, and it's not a fucking normal fucking name. And well, where are their statements? Where the fuck are their statements at? Right? You know, these people had contact with him. I mean, the one checked him in, and I believe she checked him into both rooms. I believe Jay Wheeler was the same person that checked him into 134 as checked him into 135. She dealt with him twice. We have her on video, you know, blanked out, of course, or you know, blurred out, of course, but she's on video. We know they talked. What did they talk about? What was his demeanor? I mean, we kind of see a little bit of it, I guess, but you know, how did he act? What did he say to you? Did he talk about his family coming down? You know, what the fuck happened there? Did he say his girlfriend was with him? I mean, what is that? We don't have that. So that's something that would be interesting to FOIA out. The other one is his casino host, right? We know. And I'm right here. Let's see. Let's see. Second refrigerator. Yeah, I don't care about second refrigerator. Let's see. It's 28th, I think, or 27th, I believe, is the date of this. Yeah, so on 27th, Pack spoke with his VIP host, reference wanting a Vista suite at the end of the hall with double doors. Paddock was insistent on suite and connecting room. Where the fuck is that statement? Where the fuck is that? Where did that come from? So we have VIP hosts from Wynn. I don't give a fuck about Wynn. I don't care about, I mean, I guess it is somewhat relevant. Okay, I'm glad we have what we have. And they talked to his host at Caesars who got burned by him. And I guess that's all good and fine. But this is the one that fucking matters. This is the only one that matters. I mean, this is the big one. And we know they talked. You know, we know they talked to him. You know, we know that from just this right here, we know that somewhere out there is a statement from the VIP host that checked him into the Mandalay Bay. I want to see that shit. You know, that guy knows everything about Paddock. That guy knows everything. I mean, he knows how much money he gambled that whole time he was there. You know, he knows how much he won, how much he lost. He knows what the conversation was with his Vista Suite bullshit, what his excuse was for wanting this 200 wing, which is probably pretty close to what they wrote here. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to tell me, I just want to shoot at people, so I want the 200 wing. But, you know, there may have been more to this conversation. We don't have that. And that's interesting to me. And that is something that I think would be worth doing a FOIA for. I think that's a very important thing, this VIP host. I think that is one of the most important things throughout this whole thing, because that tells you that what his gambling habits were. And hey, how you doing? You know, it doesn't matter if there's a gag order on the employees. They have a statement here. There's a statement from this fucking dude or chick, whatever it is. I suppose VIP. Yeah. Doesn't say anything about it, him or her. So, you know, not to misgender people in this day and age, but he spoke with a VIP host. We know that. He spoke with him on the 27th about getting this fucking room in the 200 wing. So why? You know, what is this shit about? You know, how did he contact him? Because according to the cell phone records, I don't believe it was on the cell phone records. So what's this about? Where's this fucking statement? Where are they getting this shit from? It had to be from, you know, a statement from this actual dude that an interview, I'm guessing, that they did with this fucking guy. And we don't have that. That'd be important. I think that'd be very important. I think that's one of the more important things within all of this bullshit, is figuring out how much money he actually made, how much he lost, how he was doing. We could tell if he was stressed out because he was losing fucking money, even though he's telling Mary Lou he won $70,000 one night, which I think was actually true according to that that graphic they showed during the last little special they did. 21 what? Pilots? Oh, okay, whatever. I have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, those are some of the questions I have. And again, there's pictures in this fucking book, man. Why have people not fucking read it? Why have people not read it? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. You have a fucking YouTube channel based off Vegas, but you haven't read the fucking report. You're crazy. You're fucking nuts. I said, even if you don't agree with it, you're fucking nuts. That's a hell of a shot right there, by the way. That's a hell of a shot. Engineer Shuck, right, center core, 32nd floor, walked up to the 100. Yeah, okay. When did he walk back, though? So it's saying Shuck got up there at 10 after. Okay. Let's see. Varson Hendricks arrived at center core. Not sure timeline on that. I'd have to go back and look. But if if that timeline's accurate, damn, dude. If that timeline's accurate, then fuck Allsbury. What the fuck were you doing? What the fuck happened with you? You know, why'd you sit up there for till 11 after? It's crazy. That's crazy. That's fucking stupid. Let's see. 2-hour Mandalay Bay security officer. Yeah, on the 32nd floor. Went to the center core. Did they though? Wait, am I fucked up here? I don't know. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on that because let's see. Varson Hendricks made entry in the stairwell, 31st floor. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I don't know. Officer Hendry and a Mandalay-based security officer advised over their respective radios. 31st floor could clear rapid gunfire. Okay, yeah. Again, I don't want to get deep in the weeds here. I'll do that one of these days with that fucking video, but right now I don't want to get involved in that shit. I was actually looking for Shuck. I want to see what they said about Shuck. I want to see if they talk about what Shuck did past Engineer Shuck's stated orders. Radio Shan called the police. Someone's firing a rifle on 32nd floor down the hallway. Shuck turned their corner, the alcove between 117 and 119. So they never mentioned when Shuck got out of that alcove until I guess Salisbury's statement, and then we see that it was probably around 2213 or so, or somewhere around there, which would make a little bit of sense because that means he sat there for 3 minutes, which 3 minutes is a long fucking time, but the dude is shooting actively out the window at that point. So it puts a little more credence than Campo sitting there for 6 minutes in silence, after he'd been shot. So anyway, I think that's about it. Here's the assignments. These are always interesting to me, man. I don't know if this is the assignments for the event. Let's see. I think this was though. Specific assignment. Yeah, specific assignments for the event. So let's see. 10 cops, dude. 20 cops for traffic? You're crazy. You're fucking crazy, dude. That's insane. Even if you split that shift, man, you got a sergeant and 5 cops. That's 6 and 6. You're crazy. That's fucking insane. Well, it takes maybe 2 cop cars each side of the fucking intersection, but they weren't even blocking the intersection. So where the fuck were these 10 guys? It's crazy. Shit's fucking crazy. Interior entry gates. Yeah, I get that. That's important, right? The entry gates and the exit and all that stuff. That's important. I don't know what the interior early squad is. No idea. Interior late squad, event coordinator, command post, and the event coordinator, or the command post guy, I think, was the idiot. They kept saying it was a fucking moron. Anyway, and again, there's pictures in this book. There's pictures. How could you not read this fucking thing? It's not that fucking difficult. You notice how small that bracket is right there? That thing's tiny, dude. That thing's fucking minor. I'm surprised someone just yanked that thing right out. And there's the hallway. It's a long ass hallway. Anyways, I think I'm done with this. Yeah, I think I got to go take care of a couple things. And have a good night, everybody. Just that video I watched earlier just made me want to come on here and do something. Since this is the day, and I did not actually make it out to Vegas this year. But yeah, sad day. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Everybody stay safe out there, and have a good night.